Hi guys, it's George. So today I wanted to talk about Australian native plants as indoor plants in the home. Over Easter, Mrs. Thomas and I went to Port Lincoln, and along the coastline there were a lot of succulent type plants which I found to be very beautiful, but also very similar to the plants that you see inside as people grow succulents. And it got me thinking of what would be the best, Australian native plants for an indoor plant. So I've put together a bit of a list. I've got my iPad here. And a lot of these, when I started looking at things, I thought, they are very popular house plants. So the first one on my list is one that a lot of people know of and a lot of people have. It is the staghorn fern, but in particular the Platycerum bifurcatum. Of staghorn fern. These plants are native to southeastern Australia and Queensland. You see them quite often. How they grow in the wild is on trees, and you see often, or wood or on the sides of things. And you see often when people have them in their homes, that's how they display them. But you can also, have them in a pot. It's completely fine, and they'll grow completely well. I don't have one of these, but I probably, when I get one, it will be in a pot, just because I find the whole having to take something down and then soaking it and then waiting for it to dry to put it back on your wall, that would just be so bloody annoying to me, I can't even tell you. The second one, which is very interesting, and I've seen these varieties before, but I didn't really know what it was. I just thought it was a palm of some type, but it's known as the broadleaf palm. Cordyline petiolaris. It's native to our rainforests and is also commonly known as the broadleafed palm lily. It's evergreen, has kind of medium to tall foliage, and has these long, narrow, strappy green leaves. These are one of the plants that you commonly see in people's homes as well, and they make a really great, indoor plant. Now, the next one on the list, everyone will know of this one. It is the Kentia palm, the Hoya Australis, and it is native to Lord Howe Island. So that's why its Latin name is Hoya. Very popular in houses. Even outside here in Australia, we can get away with having this palm, but it is quite slow growing. I don't like it. I'm not a big one on palms, and maybe that's because we bought a palm and I put it in a dark room and it died, obviously. But I blame the palm because it couldn't have been me. But not my favorite thing, but it's all good. The rough maidenhair fern, the Atium hispidilium. Now these looks like quite a regular fern. In that it, has those fronds which grow upright, but then it kind of clumps out. And then when a new growth comes in, it's got this kind of pinky, mauvey hue. So they kind of look like ferns, which are like hands, and then the new growth is pink, which is amazing. And I think these are so beautiful. I haven't actually seen one of these, but if you have, just let me know, because I would love to see if they're in garden centres. Now the next one, I don't have any to show you, but I have, it's one of my favourite genuses of plants. It is the Hoya. Now, Hoya Australis, a lot of Hoya come from Southeast Asia, so it's probably no surprise that they are native to Australia as well. So in, Queensland and north of, Northern Australia, not like this is a variety of carnosa, but the Hoya Australis, which has a broader leaf than these, kind of like a fungi, but not as broad. And the Hoya Australis is very popular here. Every garden centre has a Hoya Australis. Maybe because it's so common is why I haven't picked those Hoyas to have. I have a Carnosa crinkle 8 in the fungi, and also the the Indian rope type Hoya, but maybe if I want to have my collection grow of Hoya, I might get an Australis because it is quite easy, but it'd be really interesting to see how it flowers. So that's another one. Now for the bonus, the bonus plant isn't actually really Australian, but it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. It is called the Norfolk Island pine. I have seen many plant Instagrammers and YouTubers have this in their homes. I know that Harley G has one. And I when I saw it on her channel, I thought, I've never known that you could have that in a plant and have it in your house. And I just thought it was the most bizarre thing, because even though they're not strictly from Australia, they are the most common trees at any seaside in Australia. If you go to the sea in Australia, you will see a line of Norfolk Island palms. From our house, we can actually see the sea from our house, and on the horizon, there's just a line of Norfolk Island palms. So, did I say palms? No, not palms, pines. Norfolk Island pines. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So to see them in a pot in a house, I was like, what? How is that possible? But it's possible. And apparently in America, people love them. And that's what they have as their Christmas tree sometimes as well. And the reason why they're good and popular is, unlike other pines, they don't lose their needles. They just lose like a branch, and they're littered underneath Norfolk Island pines when you go to the seaside. Very easy to trip on those kind of like round branches. But I thought, if they're so popular, maybe I could have one at the houseplant. I haven't seen them at nurseries. But when we, again, on our trip to Port Lincoln, there was, again, Norfolk Island pines, along the beachside there. And, down on the bottom of the trunk, there was some new growth coming out. And I thought, let me just snap some off and see what happens. If I propagate them, excellent. And if they work, excellent. I can't tell you whether this has worked or not, and I'll tell you why. So this is one branch that I took out. And remember, this was at Easter. So has it rooted? No. Has it died? No. Do I know what's going to happen to this? No. But I'm going to suck in and see what happens. But because nothing was happening with this, like, status quo kind of freaks me out. I want to see something. So I put the second one I had in a little baby pot. Has anything happened? No. Will anything happen? I don't know. But I like experimenting. I have always, whether it's outside plants, inside plants, and maybe it's because, it's a cheap way to do things, but I've always just cut stuff off and stuck it in the ground or stuck it in water, and just to see if it works. And if it does work, brilliant. If it doesn't, well, it hasn't cost you anything. How much does it cost to fill up a jar of water every couple of days? So these are my current experiments, and we will see if they turn out. But I do agree that the Norfolk Island pine is a great houseplant, because I actually do like looking at these, and I could imagine it looked pretty cool as a Christmas tree. I did say that to Mr. Thomas. I said, oh, this could be a Christmas tree. And he went, not this year, or next year, or the year after. And he's probably right, but, I'm going to suck it and see how that goes. So I just think it's great that, sometimes you don't have to restrict things to outside, or you don't have to restrict things to inside. So that's the best thing about plants. We can, depending on where we live and what climates we give them in our homes, you can always have something nice and green to make your day happy. So that's all from me. I will see you next time. Thanks everyone. Bye.